Motion sickness is one of the biggest reasons that discourage people from using virtual reality headsets. And that's a shame because a lot of people think they are not able to get better. We have been playing VR for almost 3 years now, and if you have followed us for a while, then you'll know that I am prone to motion sickness. Chary is good, but I have laid on the couch many times before trying to get over that awful nausea. But the good news is that you can get better at it, and I'm saying this from a personal experience. I don't get as sick as often anymore now, so I wanted to make a video to explain what I did to make my VR legs stronger and what I do to keep on preventing motion sickness. If you ever felt motion sick before, I hope that these tips will help you out as well. Subscribe if you haven't yet to see more VR videos like this one, and now let's get started. First, let's talk about what causes motion sickness in virtual reality. Motion sickness occurs when your eyes perceive that you are moving, however, your body is not. So, for example, if you are sitting down or standing in one spot, but using the joystick of your controller to move around in a VR game, it causes an inconsistency which can cause motion sickness. When that happens, it is the same kind of feeling that you can get from being carsick. You can feel dizziness, headache, fatigue, vertigo, but the most common symptom is nausea. If you don't resolve this, you will most likely vomit, or you can feel sick for hours even after you put down the headset. That actually takes us to tip number 1. Learn when to take a break. If you start feeling motion sick, immediately take a break. I usually feel a cold sweat coming or just a general feeling of discomfort. When that happens, I know that if I continue playing, it will get worse and I will have a hard time getting over it. So I take a break before it gets worse, and when I recover, I can continue playing again. Taking breaks is also what has given me stronger VR legs. VR legs are, by the way, what the community calls the resistance to motion sickness when playing VR games. By taking it slow and playing short sessions first, I was able to play longer sessions over time. At the moment, I can play most VR games for hours without feeling sick. But let's continue. If you started feeling motion sick in a VR game, I recommend trying out this second tip after taking the break. Tip number 2. Every VR game usually has comfort settings that you can change. You most likely find it under VR settings or comfort settings if you open up any menu in any VR game. Check out every setting to see what works best for you. Afterward, you'll be able to apply it to other games. For example, personally, I cannot take smooth turning or locomotion that is not head relative. So in every game, I set turning to snap instead of smooth, and smooth locomotion to head relative instead of hand relative. I also prefer just turning with my body in real life instead of using any snap or smooth turning, which helps too. So if you took a break, as I mentioned in tip number 1, I recommend checking out the VR settings after you took that break to see if there is something different that you can do in that game to prevent the thing that is causing the motion sickness. Tip number 3. A lot of newcomers in VR are usually not aware of this. In every VR headset, you can set your IPD, short for intipupillary distance, to match your eyes. Your IPD is the distance between the center of the pupils of your eyes. My IPD is around 59 millimeters. This is important because if you don't match the IPD in VR, then you will not only have a blurry display, but it could also cause motion sickness. So if you don't know your IPD, you can measure it yourself using mobile apps or using an old school ruler, although this might not be as accurate. You can get an accurate measurement by trying to get your eyes measured at a prescription glasses store. Then, if you know your number, you can set it on your headset. On the Valve Index, HTC Vive devices, Oculus Rift CV1 and Oculus Quest, there is a physical slider, usually below the headset, that you can use to set it. On the Rift S, you can set it in the Oculus app by going to the settings. Tip number 4. Try out a travel anti-nausea wristband. I have a pair right here. What it does is, this plastic stud here puts pressure on an acupuncture point of each wrist that has been proven to help against motion sickness. This point is the Naquan point, if I am pronouncing it correctly. To find this point, place your middle 3 fingers of your right arm on the back of your left wrist. Your Naquan point will be right below your index finger. If you press that point with a finger and you feel a slight sensitivity or tingling, then you'll know that you found the right spot. Put the wristbands on this spot on both arms before you feel motion sickness for it to help. I've never known about this solution until a viewer commented about this, so I bought it to try it out. Maybe it's like a placebo effect, I don't know, but it does seem to work for me. It might not work for everybody though, but you can find a pair of these for about $5 on Amazon, so I think it is worth a try. I will link it in our description for those interested. While you are watching this video, don't forget to leave a like to show your support. Tip number 5. Get some ginger in your house. Ginger is a natural remedy for motion sickness, so it's worth trying it out. There are a lot of forms of ginger. You can get ginger ale or make a tea with fresh ginger, or you can even find ginger candy to chew on. It should help during playing or even after you get motion sick. Consuming some ginger can help you recover sooner. Tip number 6. Turn a fan on while playing. This is another tip I got from a viewer, which is to put a fan on me while playing VR games. High enough so you can feel the wind while playing. Maybe it has the same effect as when you get car sick and people open the window for you. I'm not sure, but it helps. Tip number 7. Start with comfortable games. To my surprise, a lot of people who try VR for the first time have tried a roller coaster VR experience. These games are super intense and can cause motion sickness fast. Heck, after 3 years, I still don't really enjoy playing those experiences. I recommend training your VR legs by playing games that are comfortable first, and then move on to more intense games. More comfortable games are games like Beat Saber or Super Hot, where you don't have to move around in-game. After that, you can move over to medium comfort games like games that use smart locomotion systems like Sprint Factor, where you move your arms to run, or this stealth kayak game Phantom Covert Ops. If you can handle all those, you can move on to more intense games like Skyrim or even No Man's Sky. The Oculus Store indicates whether a game is comfortable in the game's description. Unfortunately, Steam or Viveport does not do this, so with those platforms you have to do some research yourself, like watching a review or a gameplay video. Tip number 8. Look at your setup. Check your tracking setup and computer setup before starting a game. Is your PC able to handle a VR game at a decent frame rate? And is your tracking setup done correctly so you don't get any tracking occlusions? Loss in tracking causes weird display problems that can instantly cause motion sickness. So this is something that needs extra care. I've made a couple of tips and tricks videos for tracking, amongst other things, which I recommend checking out. These are older videos, but most of them still apply. I will link both below. This also brings us to tip number 9. Check your frame rate. If a game causes frame drops, you'll most likely get motion sick from it. So if you just bought a new game and are starting to feel weird, then check the frame rate first. In Steam VR, you can check it by right-clicking the Steam VR window, Settings, Video, Advanced Frame Timing. Here you see a green area and some other lines. If the lines and movements stay below this green area, then you're fine. If the purple stuff goes above the green area, it means your frame rate is not up to par. You can turn on this checkbox here to show this graph in-game too. You can also download Steam VR Advanced Settings to check the reprojection ratio. Basically, the lower this number, the better the frame rate. On Oculus, you can check your frame rate by opening the Oculus Debug tool, which you can find in your Oculus install folder under Support and then Oculus Diagnostics. Launch it before starting a game and then set Visible HUD to Performance. This will show a frame rate graph in-game. If you see that you are getting frame drops or low frame rates, then check if you can lower the graphics settings of the game, decrease any super sampling, or maybe you have to update your graphics drivers. Tip number 10. If you are prone to motion sickness, do not play a VR game after drinking alcohol. I've tried it before and, well, it's not a nice feeling. I feel motion sick way faster, and before I knew it, I was on the couch again. So, that's it. Those were the things I do or did to help me get my VR legs. Do you have any other tips and tricks for others to prevent motion sickness? Comment it down below and let's help each other out. A special thanks goes to Art Armin, our right-hand patron, and a special shout out goes to his Patreon page. Thank you so much everyone for watching this video, and I will see you in the next. As always, VR on! Do you have any other tips and tricks to for others to yeah.